There's a particular kind of ache that doesn't come from being rejected. It comes from being almost loved. The half answers, the soft maybes, the way they say all the right words but never stay long enough to prove them. It's like trying to hold sunlight. Beautiful, but impossible to keep. You tell yourself you're patient. You tell yourself they just need time. But beneath that hope is a quieter truth. You're chasing someone who was never fully here. And what hurts most isn't their distance. It's what their distance awakens in you. Psychologists call this the intermittent reward cycle. When love arrives unpredictably, it activates the same circuits as addiction. The brain craves the high of closeness and tolerates the withdrawal of absence. You start mistaking anxiety for chemistry and inconsistency for passion. You think, if I can just love them enough, they'll stay. But deep down, you're not trying to convince them to love you. You're trying to convince love itself to stop running away. So let me ask you something. Why does it feel safer to chase than to be chosen? What part of you believes love only counts when you have to earn it? And what would it mean if someone showed up easily, without the mystery, without the chase? Because the truth is, it's not the person you're addicted to. It's the pattern. And behind that pattern is a wound that once taught you, love leaves, so run after it before it's gone. You didn't choose to fall for the distant ones. You were trained to. Somewhere in your early story, love came mixed with waiting. Waiting for attention, for softness, for someone to finally see you. Maybe you had a parent who was physically present but emotionally miles away. They loved you, yes, but only in glimpses. Between distractions, between moods, between moments. And as a child, you learned a rule. Love is something I chase, not something I receive. That's where the pattern begins. In psychology, it's tied to anxious attachment, a nervous system conditioned to confuse uncertainty with intimacy. You learn that unpredictability keeps you alert. That anxiety means connection. That the butterflies in your stomach are a sign of love, when in truth, they're the body's alarm bells ringing. And here's the heartbreaking part. The unavailable ones feel familiar. Their silence mirrors the same quiet you once tried to fill with effort. Their hot and cold affection feels like home. So even when they hurt you, you keep returning, not because you don't see the pattern, but because your nervous system remembers the rhythm. Have you ever noticed how stillness feels uncomfortable? How you pull away from people who are consistent? How you miss the chaos when things are calm? That's not preference, that's programming. Your body learned that love hurts a little. So now, peace feels foreign. But the truth hiding underneath is this. You don't crave the unavailable person. You crave resolution with what they represent. The first person who made you feel unseen. Every time you chase someone who can't stay, you're really chasing closure with someone who already left. That's what the body remembers, the unfinished story, the open door that never closed gently enough. You think you're searching for connection, but what you're actually searching for is correction. You want this person to stay, so it can rewrite the moment the original one didn't. That's why logic doesn't help. You can list every red flag, every unanswered message, every moment of coldness, and still, your chest tightens when they pull away. Because the craving isn't for the person, it's for the feeling of finally being enough to make someone stay. Neuroscience calls this emotional recall, when your body replays old attachment wounds through new relationships. You're not falling for their mystery. You're falling for the echo of familiarity. The nervous system loves repetition, even if repetition hurts. Have you noticed how you become your most loving when they withdraw? How their distance turns into your determination? How silence feels like a challenge instead of a boundary? That's not weakness. That's your inner child saying, maybe this time, if I love harder, I won't be left. But the truth is, you can't outlove someone's walls. You can't heal in the same pattern that hurt you. Because every time you chase the unavailable, you abandon yourself in the process. So maybe the question isn't, why don't they love me back? Maybe it's, why do I keep running from the ones who do? In adulthood, this pattern wears so many disguises. Sometimes it looks like chemistry. Sometimes the thrill of the chase. Sometimes it's that quiet belief. If it's not complicated, it's not real. But look closely. You're not drawn to their distance because you enjoy suffering. You're drawn to it because, somewhere deep inside, you equate effort with worth. You've mistaken exhaustion for devotion. And love, the healthy kind, feels too still, too unearned to trust. That's why consistency feels suspicious. It doesn't make your nervous system light up the way chaos does. Because chaos is known, and the body prefers the known, even if it hurts. Attachment experts call this the trauma bond illusion, the confusing chemistry that forms when your nervous system mistakes anxiety for attraction. The highs feel electric, the lows feel unbearable, and your heart becomes addicted to relief. But here's the painful irony. You keep chasing what wounds you, because your heart still believes it's the only path to love. You think you're chasing connection, but you're really chasing the moment before abandonment. The point where maybe, just maybe, you can change the ending. So, let me ask you something. When was the last time love felt peaceful and you didn't run from it? When was the last time someone stayed and you let them? Because healing this pattern isn't about finding the right person. It's about becoming the version of you who no longer confuses attention with affection and distance with desire. You don't have to earn love through pain anymore. You only have to stop mistaking chaos for care. Healing this pattern doesn't start with cutting people off. It starts with understanding why you chase in the first place. Because chasing isn't just about desire, it's about identity. When love has always felt uncertain, pursuit becomes proof. If I'm still trying, I must still matter. The first step is awareness, naming the chase when it happens. That flutter in your chest when they pull away, that's your nervous system mistaking anxiety for chemistry again. When you notice it, pause. Don't text. Don't fix. Don't perform. Just breathe. You're teaching your body that love doesn't have to be earned through panic. Psychologists call this repatterning attachment, rewiring your emotional reflexes through presence, not punishment. It's about becoming the safe base you never had. Try this micro-practice. Each time someone feels distant, ask yourself, am I drawn to them or to the feeling of trying? The answer will quietly change everything. Then, begin to notice the ones who feel boring at first. The steady ones. The kind ones. The ones who text back. They might not spark adrenaline, but that's because they don't trigger your wounds. They trigger your healing, and healing rarely feels thrilling at first. Have you ever mistaken calm for disinterest? Or equated effort with passion? What would it mean to choose love that doesn't make you chase it? You're not addicted to unavailable people. You're addicted to the version of yourself that believed love was always on the other side of effort. But peace doesn't need chasing. It waits, patiently, for you to stop running. One day, you'll meet someone whose calm feels different, not dull, not distant, just safe. And for a moment, you won't know what to do with it. Your chest will tighten, your mind will search for flaws, and your body will whisper, this can't be real. But that's when you'll realize, it's not love you fear, it's safety. Because for so long, love wasn't safe. It was unpredictable, inconsistent, conditional. You were taught to chase because chasing was the only way to keep it near. Now, you get to do something radical. You get to stay still and let love find you. You get to stop rehearsing abandonment. Stop proving your worth. Stop translating silence into self-blame. Because real love doesn't hide. It doesn't dangle itself like a prize or make you audition for peace. It shows up, stays, and listens. And when it does, you won't have to question if it's enough. You'll feel it in the stillness, in the breath you no longer have to hold. So, tell me, have you ever loved someone who only gave you pieces of themselves? And what would it feel like to stop chasing and finally receive love that doesn't make you ache for it? Write it below, one word that describes the love you deserve, not the one you've been settling for. Maybe it's steady. Maybe it's seen. Maybe it's safe. Before you go, share this quietly with someone who's still chasing what keeps running. Because maybe, just maybe, they're not hard to love. They've just never known what it's like to stop running and be found.